There are actually so many reasons why somebody would tell you that you don't belong in Australia. And at a certain point of time, you yourself will actually start feeling that way. And there's just so many reasons to it. The number one reason is, which I believe kind of like universal for every single immigrant, and you feel like you don't belong here. And that is when you come from a new country, or let's just say come from a different background which is completely new to the country that you're living right now. And here we're taking Australia as an example. So in my case, let's just say I'm coming from Punjab, like India. That's just a state, and I'm coming from Punjab. Right now I'm kind of like hanging in between two different mindset. On the other side, on the first side, so I would say, if I go back to India, I will feel like I'm too much of an Australian to be an Indian. And this side, if I live in Australia, I'm like, I'm not completely Australian yet. That's why I'm just so much of an Indian to be an Australian. So you kind of like always juggle around in between. Because now the transition that we have to make from being an Indian, or someone who is just completely Indian, blend in culture and the language, food, community as well. And that individual, when he's living in a different community which is Western, has different belief system, different language and environment, every single thing is different. So you kind of like obviously start to adopt, because now you kind of like gonna live in this country which is Australia. So you kind of struggle because now you have adapted the habits of this country, right? Now, if you go back, you're still living the same way, like you're living the present life in there. And those people, they kinda look at you, they be like, ah, bro, you have changed. Obviously, you have changed because you are living with new ways that you have found in a new country. So, number two, you kind of feel like that you don't belong anywhere. And that is always the language barrier. Always, all the words. Another language barrier is something that is true. It's real. The thing is, like right now I'm talking, right? I will have this Indian accent. I will have this I don't know, someone would still pick that, bro, you don't really sound like an Australian. You don't sound like a local. So somewhere, right, a lot of people come from different English background, like where English is not their background. So they, even though they have like English as a subject in the school, still they would have different perception about English. Whereas here, like when you come, the way you speak English, it's completely different. You would have your own blend, and which is why you will always be given a label to certain community. And over time, you will just start feeling that obviously you don't belong here, you don't belong to the local community somehow. Now, there's so many different ideas and school of thoughts to this, because someone would, some communities will actually accept you, and some will just make you feel like you're an outsider. And this is where you have to um, always fight and juggle around, and then you'll have to just make your mind that it is what it is. But even though you do all these things, the thought's gonna come to your brain that I don't belong here. It's just always gonna be there. But doesn't matter whether you are giving your best or not. And here's another thing, right? Of just going back to some of the scenarios in the life events that happened in the last year, and that is, there is a hidden pain that nobody talks about, and the hidden pain is actually the pain of missing out on a lot of family events, cultural events, and some of the life events as well that I'm talking about. It could be someone passed away, it could be someone getting married, it could be like there are religious events that you always used to attend, now you don't have the opportunity to attend anymore. Those things gonna come around, those things gonna happen. And when you'll see doing video calls over your phone, or whatever, you're gonna talk to your family back home, your brothers, sisters, all the cousins, and you look at them, they are celebrating every single thing that you used to celebrate and being part of. Now you are not part of any more of it, and that will kind of cripple you inside you. Like, I don't know if this is the place for me, because then you start missing a lot. Then you'll start feeling like you're alone. You wouldn't feel like working on this on that day. It's kind of the pain that is very, very hidden and no one talks about. Like, how would a local individual would understand what you're going through? They can't. Even though they would try their best, they still can't understand what you're going through. So, as I say, it's not locals' fault, it's not your fault, it's how it is. You made that sacrifice. You made the decision, yes, I'm going to go overseas and live in a new world. Which is why you definitely have like a good lifestyle, good jobs and money and whatever. But on the other hand, you're sacrificing the time with your loved ones. You're sacrificing the weddings. You're sacrificing the participation of all the events that you could have been part of. And that's a hidden pain. But anyway, I want to tell you something. There is also a positivity in it. And that is when you don't feel like you belong anywhere, it's actually a good strength. It's a good thing, because then you have definitely developed a skill set of living anywhere. When you don't belong anywhere, you can actually live anywhere. That's a positive thing. That's a compliment to yourself if you're going through that. And I want to tell you this, I want to encourage you, brother or sister, if you're going through this kind of pains, you're going through this feeling of that you don't belong in Australia, hang in there. Everyone feels the same way. Everyone goes through the same journey. And now this could be a different scenario if you've got your family members here. Different scenario. Everyone kind of feels the same. But it's a compliment, it's a strength in itself. So next time if you feeling that, please go back and think about all the visions, all the dreams that you had, all the reasons why you actually left your home. That will actually give you more strength, that will give you more power to actually move and do whatever you gotta do. That's just how it is. And what happens, the reason why I'm telling you that you should do that, it's, you know what happens, like, we tend to forget things. We tend to forget why we've started something at the very first place. And when we actually forget the initial step, the reasoning behind it, what was the purpose behind it, you kind of feel like lost. That's why it's important to know your purpose of doing anything at all. So, intention, very, very important. Whatever you do, whatever you proceed for, um, do it intentionally. And that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to make this video very long. And another thing, I took up a challenge of making 60 videos in 60 days on my YouTube channel. This is video number 1, and I hope to see you tomorrow again. Bye bye. And if you like it, you can subscribe it.